Today we're going to learn about support and resistance. Hello to all COF students! I am Marie-Litovina's Vegis translator, and it is with great pleasure that I will teach you the basics of Forex. Before starting the adventure, it is important to remember and remind yourself often of this sentence. I am and I remain a student. We are going to repeat this often to you to remind you that you are a student learning a skill that will serve you, be useful to you, and will pay you for the rest of your life. It is important to take your time and go at your own pace. Always keep a winning mind frame and you will succeed in the Forex industry. After finishing this video, you should have a very good understanding of the following questions. Feel free to pause the video to take notes and remind yourself, everyone is progressing at their own pace and do not compare yourself to others. Before starting on support and resistance, we're going to look back at what it is that we call a candle. A candle, which is made up of a body and a wick, serves as an indicator of market conditions. If you haven't watched the previous video about Japanese candlesticks, stop and watch it now. It is very important for you to grasp that concept before moving on to the rest of the training. Let's now talk about resistance. Resistance is like a ceiling. On this image, resistance is an obvious line, but in reality it's more like an area and much less a perfect line. We notice here that the wicks touch the resistance line, but they don't cross it. Usually the price bounces off the resistance line and has trouble crossing it. On one hand we have resistance, on the other we have support. Support is like a floor, it functions exactly like resistance. The price bounces off this area and struggles to cross it. On this image, the price touches the support line but doesn't go beyond it. Again, we notice how support is represented by a line when in reality it is more of an area of zone. In short, resistance is like a ceiling to which the price is attracted but struggles to cross, and support is like a floor. It supports the price which struggles to go further below. A support and resistance line have been drawn on this chart. As we mentioned before, let's consider this line more as a zone. How do we recognize a resistance or support zone? When a price touches one area a repeated number of times, the more the price touches this area, the more the area is considered as solid. On this chart, we notice that this area at first was a support and then progressively became a resistance. As you can see, support can become resistance and resistance can become support. On this particular chart, we can clearly see that these candle wicks don't absolutely stop at the lines. This is why we more widely use the term area or zone, as in a support zone or a resistance zone. Now we're going to learn how to draw a support or resistance zone. On this chart, we can notice a back and forth price pattern bouncing off of key zones on each extremity. In order to draw a support or resistance zone, you don't need to be extremely precise, nor do you need to draw several zones. In fact, you merely need to observe at what point or limit the price bounces repeatedly and changes direction. When opening a chart, you can, for example, draw a horizontal line at the level of the actual price and look back whether the price has already bounced off this limit. If this is the case, you have probably identified a support or resistance zone. Now, this is a chart without a support and resistance zone. It seems difficult in such circumstances to predict which direction the price will take. This is why drawing support and resistance zones helps understand the chart and analyze the trends. Here we can observe the same chart, but this time the key zones have been added. We notice that the prices have dropped, but that they are about to hit a support zone. In this case, we can predict that the prices are going to change direction and that it will be a good time to buy. Seen as in the past, the prices which had dropped to this limit bounced off the same support zone and starting increasing again. It is important to observe past price behavior. In this case, if the price remains above the support zone and hasn't yet hit the key zone, it wouldn't be profitable for you to position yourself to buy just yet. Now you should be able to answer and understand the following questions. Read them over and take your time to answer them. As soon as you're finished, move on to the next video and remember, You are and you'll always be a student.